Greetings, friends. This is Stan Hustad once again. I'm the leader of the Christian Entrepreneur Network, and it's my privilege and my pleasure, with your permission, to ask you to join me for a little bit of what we call a TeachAbout. Perhaps you've heard of a TED Talks. Well, we have TeachAbouts. We call them WIT, Wisdom, Insight, and Truth, hopefully with a touch of wit. And 12 to 20 minutes of a TeachAbout. One particular short subject course that could be helpful and useful to you so that you can make life and business work better, particularly as a Christian entrepreneur. Now today, as we're actually putting this together right around the Christmas season, I wanted to teach you a little principle that we oftentimes use, and I simply call it the Principle 37. Principle 37. Now, it's not the 37th principle. It's just simply that it's about three things and seven things. Three things and seven things. And I'd like to try and explain it to you and see if perhaps it might be helpful to you. I oftentimes say that when you are in contact with another person, you are actually trying to do one of three things. Maybe you're combining them, but you're trying to do one of three things. Maybe two of three. First of all, you may be trying to sell them. You want them to do something. You want them to buy something. You want them to follow your direction and do what you want them to do. Selling. Secondly, you might be trying to help them. You just want to help them. You want to help make their life better. Thirdly, you're trying to hurt them. You want to ignore them. You want to use them. You don't care about them. Whatever it is, you just simply are going to use them, ignore them, or not pay any attention to them. And so, in effect, I guess in some ways, since you're not helping them, I guess you're hurting them. Now, I know I've drawn very bold strokes, but oftentimes I often put it in front of people and say, which of the three did you do? Did you really try and help them? Maybe you tried to help them by selling them. Maybe you tried to hurt them by selling them. What did you do? Did you do good or did you not do good? As one of my mentors said, you either bless or you curse. One or the other. So, are you trying to sell them? Are you trying to help them? Are you trying to hurt them? Think about that. Just let those three things sit on your head for a while and be much more aware of them and more present to those three possibilities in the work you do. Now, that's the three. Now, here are the seven. Now, oftentimes in selling people, which we are all in the business of doing, particularly as entrepreneurs, we are trying to, what can we say to them? What can we show to them? What can we do to them? Or maybe for them, what can we do? And I'm going to convince you, hopefully, that maybe that's the wrong approach, that if you really want to have a relationship that works, what you need are, you want to know about them. You want to know these seven things. If you want to truly help somebody, if you want to perhaps sell somebody, here are seven things that would be helpful to know. And the more you know and the more you can discover, the better you will be at helping or selling. First of all, number one, who are they? I mean, really, they describe themselves and think of themselves in a certain way. And that may or may not be true, but who do they think they are? Who are they? They're not just another human being out there. Who are they? Can you answer that question? Number two, what do they fear? What are they afraid of? I guarantee you, everyone has deep fears and anxieties. Some of us are braver than others, but fear kills everything. And everybody's afraid of something. What do they fear? Number 3, what do they believe? Very, very vital. Oftentimes people will tell me, well, I'm trying to discover their values. Yes, I know. But you know what? It's more powerful to know what they believe, because what they believe influences their values. And I'd like to know what they believe. Yes, what they value, what they think is important. But that's based on what do they believe about life and business and service and how to make things happen in the world. Number 4, what do they need and what do they want? We all need something and we all want something. Eventually, we will rest in peace, and part of that peace is we no longer have any needs and we no longer have any wants. We no longer have any challenges. We no longer have anything that will affect us in any way, and truly we are at peace. And truly, God gives us a whole mountain load of peace if we do and live and be the right kind of people. But we'll never be fully at peace until we rest in peace in the very loving arms of Jesus himself. But in the meantime, what do they need? What do they want? Question 5. Who could they become? Everybody is becoming something, bad or good. We're all becoming until we, of course, rest in peace and then we're done. But who could they become? Who could they be? With help, guidance, encouragement, who could they become? And based on what you've now figured out, what are some of the doors in the world that we could open for them so they could change, so they could go through, so they could achieve more of the things that are important to them? What are some of the doors that you could open for them so they could go through? Have you got that? 6 very things it would be nice to know. Who are they and who do they think they are? What do they fear? What do they believe? What do they need and what do they want? Who could they become? What doors could I help open for them? And then, there we are. Question number 7. How could I help them? With all of the things that are out there right now, how could I help them? Literally, I have a friend who's a part of the Christian Entrepreneur Network who is very successful in sales, and he says, I really wasn't very good at selling anything, except that I was a simple man, and I asked people this question, how can I help you? And whether I was selling it or had it or not, I simply tried to help people with what they needed help with. And you know what? Doing that meant that I got the opportunity to sell them what I wanted to sell them. But I always asked, not can I sell them, or what can I sell them, but how can I help them? And I tried to discover that. And that was kind of the secret to my success. How can I help them? Question number 7. How can I help you? And then a question that is for you, for them. What could you leave behind for them? Okay, you move on. But what could you leave behind for them? As one young woman said to me, I've discovered that I'm not going to do my tombstone exercise yet. How do I want to be remembered? She said, I'll do it someday. But I will always try and ask this question. What do I want them to take away from me? What can I leave with them? How can I help them or in some way make sure that I have done something good for them? How will I be remembered for that event, that transaction, that connection? There we go. My friends, this is just a simple little teach about. We call it Principle 37. Again, there you are. You're trying to sell somebody. You're trying to help somebody. You're trying to hurt somebody. What is it? And the 7 things that would be good to know. Who are they? What are they afraid of? What do they believe? What do they need? What do they want? Who could they become? What doors could be opened for them? How can I help them? And then, what can you leave behind of value and goodness with them, for them? I'm just going to simply say that at this Christmas time, when we try and think of others, because God has thought so much of us, that He has given us everything, and most importantly, He has given us life itself, and the promise that we can be fully alive forever. Just please take a few minutes to think about Principle 37. How can I help you? I'd love to hear from you. StanHustad@gmail.com, StanHustad@gmail.com. This is the Christian Entrepreneur Network that brings this to you. And if we've been helpful to you, and if you'd like to help us and support the work we do, I would appreciate it. Check us out at TCENglobal.org. That's TCENglobal.org. And if you'd like to put a little donation in the tip jar, we would be grateful. TCENglobal.org/contribute now. Contribute now. TCENglobal.org. Contribute now. We would be grateful. All the best and blessings to you until some next time on a Teach About, on a podcast, perhaps even working together to build a life and business that works better together. Bye for now.